Morning from the Great White North of Orlando, Florida.
Whew, it's cold. Something
It
like
is.
that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's been down in the 40s at night, man.
I was
It's
laughing. I was talking to a team member in Michigan of mine, and I was just like, man, it's so cold. And he's just like, screw you, Joe. It's been snowing for the last 3 days. Stop talking. I was like, I whipped out the heavy coat. I got a beanie on today.
Yeah, I almost wore mine. Uh, Good morning, everyone. I'm Brendan Rendo with the Homes Orlando team, and joined, as always, by Joseph Dion of Apley Home Loans. And we're the Orlando Real Estate Buzz. We come to you every week, bringing you the economic news that affects not only Orlando, but really the whole country when it comes to the real estate market. So please like and subscribe and join us every Thursday at 10 o'clock. Merry Christmas. Have you seen the mortgage rates?
Oh my goodness. I've been like November. My gosh. As bad as it was in October, November was such a blessing for rates and for home buyers and so forth, because we saw we haven't seen a rally like that in a long time. In fact, it is among the best rally in almost 40 years on the market.
It's been beautiful. I mean, here's the Mortgage News Daily this morning, and there's not an 8 there.
Like, the great part is it's a 7, and then the next number after the decimal is not a high number.
Yes. I mean, you look at the graph here, and it's consistent. Nice, steady drop. Mm-hmm. And I think part of it has to do with we really are starting to see the economic numbers that we've been waiting for to really show that, hey, this economy's slowing down. It really is slowing down. And I think people getting a little ahead of themselves, though, as far as the Fed cutting rates.
I definitely think, and here's something that, like, when I looked at what happened in November, I love it. But I do want it to slow down in December. Because I think if we have this amount that we saw the market drop in November, if that happens again in December, it's going to heat up the real estate market too much. And I think the Fed will sit there and say, we got to jump in again. Yeah. So I kind of wanted to stay steady out for December. And I feel much better about what is kind of projected. Because if you let's go into that a little bit of what is based off right now, or what are the experts saying the Feds are going to start looking to drop the federal fund rate?
Well, when we hop into our tracking of the Fed watch, right now, December, rate hikes totally off the table. We're at 96%. No one believes that they're gonna raise rates. Exactly. And we'll get into that because one of the big things is the job numbers that came out this morning. We go into January and we're still at 94%, no rate hike. But look at this a little bit down here.
All of a sudden, is that
of a rate cut, correct? Let's get into March. Well, how do you do?
Almost.
Yeah, a lot of people, you got 40% of the market feels March is going to be our first rate cut of a quarter of a point.
Yeah.
And then this was kind of surprising this morning because you hop into May and you've got nearly 25% of the market talking about a 50 basis point rate cut in May of next year.
So you got 25% talking 50% talking a quarter. That's 75% of the market thinks we're going to do something. We're going to drop the Fed fund rate in May of next year. These are the experts that are really in tune. Usually what they're showing, what we look at this tool, is what happens.
Yeah, they're pretty darn close to hitting it, nailing it every single time. So when you're looking at that as, quite honestly, as a buyer, you're thinking, okay, maybe my rates will get a little bit better coming into the spring and fall. But when we look at the overall numbers, some of the things we're going to look at here in a little bit, I'm still thinking I'm going to jump and buy right now. There's some news out there that's just really
tasty for buyers.
Yeah.
Right? Because we know that the moment rates drop, right? If they get and let's be real, right now they're at 7.13. They get down to 0.9. Great. 6.5. Good. If rates get into the 6.125 or 5.875 range,
we're back where we
I think
were.
that's going to do the market.
Yep. We're back where we were, 2 years ago, where we're going to end up multiple offer situations.
Complete seller's market at that point.
Complete seller's market.
And the market right now is not a seller's market. What is it?
It is a buyer's market. It is some of the numbers coming out. I mean, you got to look at
We got some great data to show this.
Yes. First off, new home prices are down 18% over last year.
So this is new home construction, right?
New home construction. That's a huge drop. Plus, they're still giving mortgage rate incentives, closing cost incentives. If you're looking at a new house right now, you can just sit there and say, no, I would like this as well. I would like this as well. And will you please throw in the refrigerator?
The refrigerator, damn it, should be part of the process. The fact that it's an upgrade and you got to pay separately all the time cracks me up.
I know. I'm sitting there going, let's get a refrigerator. Just that one still kills me. But you look at that, I mean, that's a huge price decrease. And you're seeing it. Taylor Morrison, Thursday morning, you get them. Here are the price cuts. 15%. Some of them are 30% price cuts.
Are these in areas that are, and I say fringe might be the wrong area, but these are a lot of the new build communities that are seeing that price cut where they were stretching because there was no inventory on the market and there was nothing there and there were no options for buyers. And now that there's options for buyers, they can't ask for a ridiculous number. Yeah. You can't ask for 2,000 square foot house in St. Cloud. You're not going to get $800,000. Yeah. You're just not. It just doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense to anybody. That's the whole thing. And you're sitting there and you even when you still calculate the payments are still astronomical. Mm-hmm. So people are still being cautious overall. Yeah. So you've got that. And then here's an article that just came out from Orlando Business Journal where they're referencing some Redfin numbers. And this is the percentage of home prices with drops. Look at this. The past month, Tampa was 42%. Tampa was the second hottest market in the United States for the past 3 years. Yeah. You couldn't get a house in Tampa. 42%. Jacksonville, third hottest market, sitting at 37%. Then here's Orlando. 35% of the homes have seen price decreases in the past month. Mm-hmm. Just real quick, and this is me asking without you're the expert. Is this because sellers were still there was a little lag of this is the market was crazy, so I want this number even if the data didn't play into it? They were trying to stretch, or is this what kind of was playing into this maybe? I think it's both. Is one, sellers, you got a couple different things. One is when you're doing your comparables, you're always going backwards. Remember that. You're always going backwards. You're not looking forward. You're going backwards. So if you're an agent and you're looking back 6 months when the market was stronger, the prices are going to be higher. Yeah. But you've kind of got to look at, okay, where are the most recent sales? If I don't have any, you kind of have to look at the pendings and try and figure out, okay, well, this pending actually is $15,000 less than the one that sold six months ago. Mm-hmm. And we're probably, looking at the numbers, they're probably getting about a 4 to 5% discount off of that. So when this one closes in a week, this just crushed my appraised value. I'll give you a perfect example. I had a listing up in Sorrento, and we had listed at the time, it comped out at $540. Okay. The house next door, they sold it to OfferPad, and OfferPad has it. It's same size, 3,200 square feet, is listed right now at $464,000. If that house sells at that price, they're just $100,000 in equity. Yeah. Because that now becomes your highest and best comparable. Mm-hmm. Literally when it's the house next door. Yeah. That's what you're seeing. Can I add, and this is where some of this stuff is always really interesting for me, is we're still seeing that. I think they're projecting that the third quarter year over year nationally appreciation of the home values was 5.5%. But then we see all of this where we're saying, hey, prices are dropping. We're seeing the drop down. this is where it gets a little confusing for sellers and buyers and people investing in real estate is, are they really, are prices dropping? Are they not? Are we gaining equity? Kind of what, can you give me an idea, Brendan?
You know what it comes down to? Real estate is local. I mean, that's what you have to keep in your mind is you're looking at all these national numbers and you can't look nationally. You can't. I mean, some days it literally comes down to neighborhoods where you've got to look inside a neighborhood. And you may have one neighborhood where prices are increasing and you go a mile down the road and the prices are decreasing. It is so local, so specific that you have to keep an eye on everything that's going on. And remember, all of our numbers are always lagging. When we're looking at something, we're trying to look at the most recent data. And give you a perfect example. This was another article that Redfin came out that more than 1/3 of home sellers are giving concessions to buyers right now. Well, I actually ran the numbers for the month of November in Seminole County as well as Orange County. So Seminole County, as of yesterday, there were 380 homes that sold. Of those, 138 were given seller concessions. 36.3%.
Right on the dot.
Right on the dot. Orange County, 1,004 homes sold as of yesterday. Of those, 366 had seller concessions. 36.4%. So you're looking at this. We've got seller concessions. We got new home prices dropping. You've got 35% of homes having price decreases. What does that tell you? It's a buyer's market. Yeah. It's a buyer's market. It has shifted. Unless you've got your home priced right, it's super, super clean. You still are going to get probably top value. But if you don't price it right, if it's not clean, if it's not ready to present, you're going to get beat up. Yeah. Because people are not willing to overpay.
So this is like that wow factor, right? Like when somebody, like if you walk into a home in that first 5 seconds, you're like, oh my gosh, this house is amazing. Those are the ones that are flying. Exactly. But now if you walk in and you can point out 10 things you don't like about the home, those are the ones that you're going to be sitting for a little bit now.
For a little bit. And the other thing, I mean, wait till we get into the condo numbers. Oh my gosh. One of the condos, I apologize, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Their HOA is doubling. Yeah. Channel 2 West News actually did a news report on it. They're going from an average of $450 a month. January 1st, they're going to $900 a month on their HOAs.
Well, in the condos, and this is everything that has to do with the insurance requirements and the stay, what happened in South Florida. And it's hard to explain. And I was talking to a client that was wanted to look at a starter build home, and they were like, oh my gosh, we found a condo. It's perfect. It's only $160,000. And then I looked at it, and the HOA or the condo dues was $590 a month. And I'm like, yeah, it's $160,000, but like, here's your payment. And I laughed because I was like, here's your payment on this $160,000 condo. And then you're looking at this $240,000 home, and the home was actually cheaper than the condo.
Yep. And I think that's one place I really feel that here locally and possibly throughout Florida is we're actually going to have a huge price decrease on all condos. We're going to see the condo market. I wouldn't call it a crash, but you're going to have to.
In 2008, 2009, the condo market was like, it was a crash, right? But like the condo market just and they took the beating upon beatings.
Oh yeah.
We're going to see that correction where we may see a small correction on house prices across the board, but condos are going to have a big correction.
Condos are going to have, I mean, where you've seen, the Landing down here in Altamont, not the nicest condo. Gosh, 2010, you could pick one up for like $15,000, $20,000. Yeah. And they had jumped to about, 180. And they're going through that right now. And now you're seeing the prices drop to 150.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big drop already in a short time.
I mean, you're still ahead, but if you bought a while ago, but if you've bought within the past couple of years, your appreciation's gone. Your appreciation is going to be gone. You may even lose money on that. On that.
I've been talking to a lot of investors that invested in condos that are starting to try to get out.
Yep.
They're trying to get out while they're ahead and then move those investments into other property types.
Yep. And it makes perfect sense. When you look at the number of properties in that community for sale, it's gone up probably, I think I've seen 10 or 15 within the past week and a half come on the market in there. And they're all investors. They want out. I mean, you're an investor, you're getting the average rent in there is maybe about $1,500 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Yeah. And now your HOA is $900 a month.
Yeah, you're done. Your profit's gone.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to cost you money every month to run that. Well, since we're talking about the numbers, let's hop into the numbers.
All right.
We did have a short week last week.
Yeah, of course. Very short week.
Yep. So you did see the numbers drop down. It went from 392 to 190. And we actually had a small decrease in the inventory, but we're still sitting higher than we have in quite a while.
Yep.
But again, we were just talking about it, the condos. You only had 77 condos, but the week before was only 124.
Yeah.
And then look at the median price drop, 8.4%.
Wow.
And our inventory is continuing to grow. What happens when your inventory grows? What happens to your prices?
They're going to continue to drop, right? Supply and demand. More supply, less demand, right?
Yep. And, we were talking, everything in the numbers lines up exactly with everything we've talked about today. Original list to sales price. Look at this. We've dropped to 93%. Price 35% of the market having price decreases, right? Yep. And then final list, 96.5. Seller concessions, generally 3%. So our numbers are lining up with what's being distributed out there news-wise. And, there's your graph, weekly sales. And I was kind of looking at this is back in October, we really kind of peaked on our average price. And even though we came up a little bit, our average price on the homes is starting to come down. And so is the median. The median's starting to drop. And I think we're going to see that. So I'm looking at it going, when you look inside the numbers of, 5.5 increase, if you look, none of it's in the Southwest. Or Southeast, excuse me. None of it's in the Southeast. It's actually in the Northeast, which I find kind of interesting. But it's not in the Southeast. The Southeast is flat. When you look inside those national numbers, the Southeast is very, very flat. And then here's our inventory. We're still basically about 20% above where we were of January 1st of last year.
Yeah.
So it really is. As a buyer, December is a great time to buy because people, they want to get it done before the end of the year. They want it off their books. There's reasons for investors to get it off their books, tax-wise. It's just a great time. And then I checked yesterday morning, the Florida Hometown Heroes program still had $18 million.
I'm blown away with how slow those funds have gone this time through. And I think it's because rates spiked the way they did. And there were some changes to Hometown Heroes where the rates weren't as attractive as they were before. Before they were like 0.5% or better than the market, not as strong. But I think before, it was have to take advantage of it. Now I say, it is what it is. And, I think because the market's not as hot, consumers and buyers have the opportunity to evaluate, is it the right home? Which has slowed down how quickly those monies have been taken because they're not forced to be like, I got to make a decision. They're able to kind of really look at it.
Yeah, it was gone so quick. Now it's kind of like, But that is just a program that there's so many advantages to.
Oh, fantastic program.
Absolutely fantastic. So we got that. And then you get into the condos. We're sitting the same thing. Original list to sales price, 93.8%. Final list, 96.5. And then here's our weekly sales. This period average, I look back I mean, we're down nearly 70 homes on the period average from 3 to 4 months ago.
Wow.
And I mean, it wasn't just last week. Look at the beginning of October. We had 86 homes sold, 124. So the condo market is a tough market right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually looking one for someone relocating from Miami, and we're not stressing. We're looking at one. We're making phone calls. We're actually calling the HOA to find out. We want to make sure that January 1st, the current HOA fee is not going up. Is this the correct HOA fee?
Yeah.
Because as a realtor, you actually you don't have to disclose what's coming in January. It's what's right now.
Currently.
Yeah. So part of my job is, okay, well, I need to make sure that she's not going to all of a sudden get a $200 a month HOA fee increase come January 1st.
Yep.
So overall, I mean, it's just, you sit here and you look at these numbers. It's like, man, if I'm a buyer, I'm looking. I'm back in the market. I'm back in the market because I think I can take full advantage. You know, I can get concessions. I can get closing costs. And if I don't like the transaction, so what? I'll walk away. Inventory's high enough that I can go and I can look at another house. What I tell a lot of my clients, let's start with the ones that have been on the market for 30 days. Let's start there because those are the anxious sellers.
Yep.
One that just came on the market, they're probably not gonna move that much. But the ones that are 30 days, we got them. And if we don't like it, okay, not a big deal. We'll walk away and we'll call them in a week when it's still on the market. See if they want to move then.
I love it. Yeah, I think, like you said, just a great opportunity, and to utilize those concessions. Like, you can have the closing cost pay. You can do a permanent rate buy down. You can do the temporary rate buy downs. Like, there's so many great ways to utilize the concessions to make the transaction and the numbers work for you as the buyer right now.
Yep. Well, thank you all. Thank you for joining us. See us. We'd love to see you again next week, next Thursday. Thank you, Joe. Great time, as always.
Absolutely.
Please like and subscribe. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.